What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. Today, we're going to be going over events as a whole, what you should be doing right when you start out the app, and what you maybe should leave till later on in the game when you have a sort of decent team at least. And then we're going to be going over summoning and what you guys should probably be excited about. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so first off, right when you start out the game, you're not going to have any awakening medals really to go ahead and awaken the things that you want to. So if you actually head over to the awakening tab, you're going to see plenty of your cards can actually go ahead and be awakened, but they're going to be able to be awakened in two different ways. Now, we talked about Dokkan Awakening and Z Awakening a little bit in the last video, but I feel the need to go into a little bit more depth in this video. So let's just say I wanted to show off something I can Z Awaken right now. We'll head over to, let's just say, our Strength Android 18. I obviously can't Z Awaken it right now because it's not maxed out as far as its level is concerned. You actually have to max out the level of every single character you want to go ahead and Z Awaken. Now, you can partially awaken it by confirming multiple awakening medals and then going ahead and not confirming the last one, and it'll get a decent little stat buff if you don't have it fully maxed out as far as levels are concerned. However, you probably don't want to do that unless you're sure you're going to want to go ahead and awaken it. And at the beginning of the game, when you don't have a lot of this medal or the Supreme Kai medal in particular, which are extremely hard to find in general and require grinding or a lot of searching to go ahead and find them, then I would recommend against doing that. But you see, all of these awakening medals are not specific to the actual character we're going ahead and awakening. They're specific to the type of character we're awakening. Obviously, the more common medals are used across a lot of different types of cards, but as you get more and more rare, more and more specific, you see that they're primarily used in Strength Awakenings, and you go from easy, relatively easy, to somewhat difficult, to difficult, and then finally you obviously have Ultimate Rarely Obtainable Awakening Medal, and you only use one of them when you're going ahead and awakening a given character. However, with some characters, you're going to have to use specific medals to awaken them, and that's going to be a Dokkan Awakening. Now, in this case, we have Broly. I actually just farmed the last few medals I needed for him to go ahead and Dokkan Awaken him last night. And I'm very, very excited to go ahead and Dokkan Awaken him because he doesn't actually lose a lot of stats on the Dokkan Awaken. He goes back to level 1, and then he has a max level of 120. So he's going to be an absolute monster when I fully max out his levels. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. But as you guys can see, I actually needed to go ahead and farm Berserker of Destruction Kakarot medals. And that's only specific to Broly and then to a few other characters that are specific to Broly's original banner. So, like when he originally came out, he had other characters that came out with him, and most of them use that specific medal to awaken. So we're going to go ahead and Dokkan Awaken Broly right now. As you guys can see, he's starting to awaken, and I'm very excited to train him up and get him to be the powerhouse that I know he can be. I mean, as a UR that's not awakened fully, it's still a really, really solid card, don't get me wrong, but like, he's going to be amazing when I get him all the way up to 120. And his leader skill is really good, and he's a god lead and everything. It's all great. So, pretty happy about that one. But as you guys can see, Broly is now totally darked out, and we can't click on him to awaken him anymore because he is at the top level awakening that he can be at. Now, there are some characters that actually can Dokkan Awaken multiple times. One good example that we're not going to show off today is the Android 17 and 18 from the Friend banner. Now, oh, I can't actually do it today anyways because I just used up my Berserker medals. But anyways, guys, so basically for this one, there are going to be multiple Dokkan Awakenings to get it to its final LR form. And you just have to farm tons and tons of specific medals for it. So this is from a specific actual event, and then we've got another event, and then we've got a different event, and another different event, and then this is the one that's actually the Broly medals. But yeah, guys, there are a lot of medals that go into some of these, and it's just not a very frequent thing. You don't see that very often, and usually it's only specific cases where you're going to need that. But it is good to keep in mind that you might want to keep extra medals and don't ever really get rid of them. So that brings me to the first event that you're going to see on a pretty regular basis, but not regular enough that you can rely on it always being there. We have the Battle for Awakening medals. Now, if you're just starting out, I'd recommend farming this if you have the opportunity, if you have an okay enough team to go ahead and farm it. On Z hard, it doesn't cost that much stamina, and it is going to definitely benefit you a lot to be able to awaken all of your units that you're using in your regular main team. If you're running out of Zeni, which usually doesn't happen but can happen a lot early game, I've actually been a victim of running out of Zeni before, just early on in playing the game. Right now, obviously, I have over 27 million Zeni, so I'm really not running out of it, but the Big Bucks Hercule Challenge definitely is really great for earning a lot of Zeni, and it doesn't cost a whole lot as far as stamina is concerned to get a decent amount. So I recommend going for that if you're early on in the game. You really don't know what you're doing. You have to Z awaken a bunch of cards. You don't have enough Zeni for it. That's a great place to go to get a decent amount. Next up, we're going to talk about training in the clouds, except we already talked about it the other day, but one of you guys brought this up. Now, you can go over to Turtle School Training right now, which is almost strictly better than training in the clouds, and you can actually have access to platinum turtle shells, which give a base 300,000 experience, which is absolutely insane for leveling up some of those more powerful units that you might have. Now, it also gives you a decent amount of experience just for your whole team if you clear it, and you have a lot of opportunities to go ahead and get golden training capsules, so it's really all around a fantastic thing, and I would recommend taking advantage of it every single day. You can only do it once a day, and it's not always around. Sometimes they take it off when the events end and everything. Right now, it's only on because of the 150 million global downloads milestone event. So it's going to be off at some point in the near future, and then eventually it'll probably be back. So take advantage while you can. Next up, let's talk about Pan's Secret Adventure. Now, you don't really need to have anything or do anything in particular to win this event. There's really no battles in it unless you go ahead and go against Goku. But, I mean, Kid Goku is really not that hard either, so if you have a somewhat okay team, then he's going to be pretty easy as well. Basically, you just go against Pan, Pan runs away, and you get a whole bunch of rank experience for it. Always take advantage of it. Only happens on Sunday and only once per week. There's also usually going to be stories going on at some point. You're going to see right now that we have 2 Dragon Ball GT stories going on, the Baby Saga and the Black Star Dragon Ball Saga. So both of them are going to have exclusive treasures that you can get, and therefore you'll be able to farm them and get some really awesome things with them. So if you run over to the treasure column of Baba's shop, you can see now instead of just incredible gem things that you can get, you'll also be able to purchase a bunch of different things with Hercule badges and metal fruits or whatever the given currency is when your given story event is out. So right now, I actually took advantage of the Hercule badge part of the event and a few of the metal fruit things as well. And I got myself one of the Elder Kais for 10,000 badges. Now, you can also get a second one for 12,000 badges, and it's not really that hard to grind these particular badges and fruits in both events, and you can get them very easily, so I definitely recommend doing that if you have nothing better to do. You also can get Elder Kai badges, medals. You can get Elder Kai medals and Supreme Kai medals. You can get statues, which you can actually sell, bronze ones for 250k, silver ones for 500k, and gold ones for 1 million. You can get a bunch of training items. You can get some specific type medals. I almost said badges again. More training items, more type-specific medals. I mean, all around, you can get training locations, more training items, and then actual full-on gold Hercule statues. I mean, this is really a great thing to do, guys. I would definitely recommend you take full advantage of this event. I'm actually going ahead and farming the 12,000 metal fruits right now I need to get my second Elder Kai from the Dragon Ball Saga event, the Black Star Dragon Ball Saga event. So I recommend going ahead and doing that. It's very, very easy to farm them, and you can get some really good stuff from them. Keep in mind, both of these are only here until the 27th, for if you're watching this video before April 27th, 2017, I might add. But if you're watching it afterwards, guys, there's going to be other opportunities, I'm sure, but they only come and go at certain points and only for a certain amount of time, so they're not always going to be there, but take advantage while you can. Next up, we've got all of these Dokkan events, and these things are not going to be something early on you're going to be worrying about. All of these are ridiculously difficult to beat. As a very new player, you're not going to have a team that's capable of beating really any of them, I don't think. Even the ones that are really old are going to be difficult for a beginner team. However, eventually you're going to be able to beat some of the older events to Dokkan awaken some of the older characters. For example, my first one was Full Power Frieza, was one of the older events that came out. So when I got somewhat of a competent team together, I think it was last week actually, or maybe a couple weeks ago, I went ahead and took full advantage of it and got all the medals I needed to Dokkan Awaken him, and he's a lot more powerful than he was. So I definitely recommend that when you actually get the opportunity to try these out and you think your team can maybe get some work done against some of these Dokkan events, when they actually come up, when you have something that's relevant that you want to get medals for, go ahead and try it out. Use some stamina up when you're not going to be playing for the next few hours. I mean, the worst that can happen is you just lose, just straight up get obliterated. And then what? You're out some stamina, so you gotta wait for a little bit to play some more. Like, I mean, it's not a big deal. So try it out when you think you might have a competent team, but trust me, you're not going to have one for quite a while. So strike events and super strike events are the last thing we really need to go over right now, guys. And the one that I can actually show you right now is not a great example to show you the rest of them. Now, super strike events, you're going to have access to on a daily basis, okay? And basically, what they're going to give you access to is just units that aren't necessarily as good as things you can summon, but they are going to be good in the grand scheme of things, and they are going to be fantastic if you want to go ahead and take on the challenge of building LR Goku. Now, this isn't something you obviously need to take into account early on the game. Being like a beginner and everything, you're not going to need that, but it is something to look into right off the bat. It is not going to be super difficult to beat the first stages necessarily, and you will be able to build up a pretty decent, pretty workable team out of it. Now, time for an epic showdown is a very different case. If we go over to this, we're going to be able to see that we can get a free rare Goku from just farming this stage over and over again, the first stage in particular. And then you can max out the super attack of the rare Goku. You can Z awaken it to become an SR Super Tech Goku. Then you can Dokkan awaken it. So you see this, guys. You can Dokkan awaken him into Angel Goku, which is an AGL Goku. So he goes from Tech to AGL if you get a single... Okay, so a single copy of all of the different Kais. Not the extremely rare Kais, but the not as rare Kais. And a Goku medal. You can go ahead and Dokkan awaken him into Angel Goku. And then Angel Goku can Dokkan awaken with enough Talk medals to a very, very decent Tech Goku SSR. And then that SSR, oh my god, it gets really good later on. So you can actually Dokkan awaken that using surpassing all medals, which I'll show you guys right now. So I've actually got him right now. I've almost maxed him out, not just yet, but this is what he Dokkans into, and it's just honestly pretty powerful. So I would recommend, if you have the time, if you have the stamina to burn, go ahead and farm a whole bunch of these Gokus, get a ton of them, max out the super attack level, and then just start Dokkaning him when you can, because obviously some of the medals are not going to be readily available to you right when you start the game. So hopefully that sort of explains events to you guys. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a few summons. I want to do like 5 right now, I think. We'll do single summons. We'll see what we can get. That's going to be a left Hercule, which apparently, I don't know for sure about all of these, okay? But I'm pretty sure that that's a good sign if Hercule comes in from the left. He can come in from the right or the left or not at all. You can also get pods that fly down like that off the side of the screen. And that was a terrible, terrible way to show you that. But whatever. They come in from the right side of the screen towards the left side of the screen before you can actually pull here. Sometimes the release part of that becomes a rainbow, which is a good shot at getting something decent. Now he's going to go Super Saiyan. He cannot go Super Saiyan, and sometimes that's a good sign, sometimes it's a bad sign. He's going to have 2 Super Saiyan. Okay, he's going to go Super Saiyan 2, right? So the first sign and the second sign, we're going to get a Majin Buu Piccolo, so that's a super rare. So if you get 2 Super Saiyan, you get 2 Super Saiyan 2, I'm pretty sure that's a guaranteed super rare in a multi-summon or a single summon. So we'll go ahead and try that out again. Again, I don't know this for sure. I don't do a lot of summoning videos or anything like that. So that's going to be 3 pods. We're going to pull back. It's not a rainbow. We're going to go Super Saiyan. Now, you can also instantly go Super Saiyan. It's going to go 1, 2. Only go to 2. All right. And let's see what we got. We're going to pull a Cell. Okay, so that's a super rare as well. So our theory here is looking pretty good of pulling super rares when we go Super Saiyan 2. We're going to go ahead and do just 3 more right now and just see what happens, and I'll just explain things as I can. So nothing happened. No Hercule, no pods. Oh god, guys. Oh, and he doesn't even shoot anything off. We're going to get just screwed. That's going to be a rare. There's no way. So that's going to actually... Oh my god. Raccoon, though. Raccoon, though. Why would you do this to me, game? All right, so we'll do 2 more now, guys. So that was a rare. Nothing at all happened. No indicators. That's going to be 1 pod. No rainbow. I want to get a rainbow to show you guys what it looks like. We're going to go Super Saiyan right now. Not an instant. That's going to be Super Saiyan 2. Only 2. All right, so we still have a chance at an SSR with that, but not as good. Okay, so that's not going to be good. That's going to be a Nappa right there. Again, a super rare when we had a Super Saiyan 2 pop off there. Just 1 more summon, guys. Come on. Give me something good for the final summon. End this off right. Nothing. Oh, my God. We're screwed. We're screwed. All right. Well, guys, hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you learned something from this. We got just absolutely screwed in this summoning right there. That was just a waste. Just a waste. But I showed you guys, okay? I showed you guys exactly what some of this stuff looks like. We'll do 1 more. We'll do 1 more. We'll call it a day after 1 more if we don't get anything good. That's 2 pods. No Hercule, no rainbow. Not even... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, break the screen for me, please. Oh, no. We got a 17. Oh. That sucks. Okay. No more. Not spending any more. We're waiting until Emerge Zamasu. Yeah, oh God, that was bad. But yeah, guys, hopefully you got something out of this video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you back here for the next video. If you have any topics you want me to cover in future Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle videos, please drop me a comment about it. I would love to hear about it. And until the next one, peace.